me to come and do this because I haven't gotten to go and speak in front of anyone in about 4 or 5 years, and I just really miss getting to do that. But first off, I kind of want to just ask anyone, like, how many of you guys have a dream that you're willing to fight for, and just no matter what, just something that you want to be able to go and do, and you'll work as hard as you can to get that? Does anyone have a dream like that? That's what I thought. So when I was growing up, my dad was a high school football coach, and so I was always brought up to love football, and so I was groomed to be a quarterback since I was about the age of 4. I started learning to throw football and learning to play football, and so that was my dream. That was what my dad taught me to do. It was in my DNA, so to say. And after listening to some of the other guys go, I realized that a lot of things all kind of mesh together. Like with Lane talking about identity, and with what Joel talked about. I think that I can kind of touch on all of those, but what I want to talk about is the voice of truth. And with the voice of truth with me, it's been difficult because when I went through high school, I didn't do great my freshman, sophomore year. And with a quarterback, if you're not going to have a great sophomore year and get offers by the time you're a junior, you're probably not going to play college football. That's just how it is. By the time your senior year is not even really a season. It's more of like a showcase for you to go into college. So if you don't have offers by the time you're a junior, you're probably not going to play quarterback, is what people told me. And so my junior year, I ended the year and I did not have a single offer. I actually planned on going and playing at the Naval Academy. I was going to go and be a Navy SEAL. And so at the end of the year, we ended up winning the state championship. And that was a huge deal in Florida because it's really hard to do because of all the talent level. And so we ended up winning, and I ended up having a coach come down. And this was one of the hardest parts for me because when I sat there and said, well, why don't I have an offer? We just won a state championship. I set all these records. Like, what am I doing wrong? And coaches would look at me and they say, you're too small. You're not fast enough. You don't have a good enough arm. And it stung, because everything that I worked for, starting from a young age, I put everything I had into being a quarterback, and someone was going to, have the nerve to tell me that I wasn't good enough for it. And that's where the voice of truth comes into play, because God tells us in Philippians 4:13 that you can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And that's something that I grew up just quoting to myself no matter what. And so one day a coach came to visit me, and he ended up, when it came time for are you going to offer, are you going to not? He was like, no, we're not going to offer. And so my question was like, well, why not? What can I do? And he said, you're not really fast enough to play in our offense. And it stung. And the funny thing was we were going to run 40s that day on the track. And so my dad, being the coach, he was like, you don't think he's fast enough? Come watch him. And I lined up and I ran my first 40, and I had a knee surgery. I ran a 4.43, and a 4.43 for a white guy is very uncommon. And the coach looks at me and he goes, no way, go run it again. Go back, 4.44. No, run it again, 4.43. Ran it 6 times, and the coach walked away. 6 times. So I wasn't fast enough, ran something uncommon, and he still told me I wasn't good enough. And so when the voice of truth comes into play, I just kept telling myself, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. That's what I kept falling back on. And so then I ended up actually getting quite a few offers to go play college football, and that was just something that I was extremely blessed with. It was been my dream my whole life, and for God to actually give me that was incredible. And so getting to go on and live my dream was something that I really desired, and I wanted to get to do that. And I ended up committing to Nebraska. Well, about 10 days later, I was working out with our football team, getting ready for the season, and we were flipping tractor tires, the big 600-pound monster truck tires. And it was raining outside because it's Florida, and it does that all the time. And so it starts raining, and so we moved the tires into a weightlifting to a wrestling room. Well, in the wrestling rooms, they have the mats everywhere. So I get going, we're doing a tire flip, we're doing a relay race. So my buddy flips his tire, 600-pound tire, flips it. It takes an awkward roll, starts to roll to the side. I go to take off to go and catch it, and I slip. As I slip, I'm on one hand and one knee, and I look up, and this 600-pound tire falls back and hits me in the face. Knocks me flat on my back. I'm stunned, I can't move. I'm looking up, and I landed in the guy's lane next to me. And he can't see me as he's about to flip his tire. and he flips his next tire and it lands directly on my head. And I laid there, unable to move. My hands were curled into a fist. I couldn't talk. I was rushed to the emergency room. I spent 5 days in the emergency room, and I ended up having to go to speech therapy for a little over a year. I had to learn to talk again. And to be honest, that's why I haven't spoken in front of people. It was the first time I've ever gotten up in front of anyone, because learning to talk again is really difficult. And so going through that, it was just one of those things where you look back and you see coaches tell you you're not big enough, you're not fast enough, you don't have a big enough arm. Well, I got past that. I got my offer. I got my chance to come and play for Nebraska. Well, now it's doctors, it's science saying there's no way you can play football again. If you get hit like that, like, you may never be able to function as a human being. Well, for me, it was really difficult. So I continued going to speech therapy, and a little over a month later, we go to play my first game my senior year. At this time, I'm still unable to talk. We actually had my running back would run the play in from the sideline. He would tell the offense, and then I would stand back there, and he would say, "Set hut," and then I would run the play. And I could not talk. And so it actually came down to a play. We were playing on ESPN national television versus South Carolina Burns in the third quarter. We had a play where I drop back, a guy comes off the edge, I make a move on him, I'm running. The guy comes out of the back of the end zone, and I throw it, he catches it in the back corner of the end zone, touchdown. So by that point, I'm starting to think like, okay, if I'm moving around, they can't catch me. I know how to beat them. So next drive, we get out. I roll out, I'm running. As I look downfield, I see my fullback in the flat. He starts to turn up. Usually, in the past, I just dumped it to him. Well, the linebacker covers him, so I don't know what to do. Well, I'm thinking, well, I'm pretty fast, so if I cut back, reverse field, I got the whole lane to go. Right when I plant my foot, I turn my head, and a linebacker puts his helmet right in my ear. And I was unconscious before I even hit the ground. I was out for 25 minutes. They actually helicopter flighted me off the field to the nearest hospital. I woke up inside of a CAT scan. I woke up looking myself in a mirror from the CAT scan. I honestly thought I may have been dead, because I'm like, why am I looking at myself? I don't know how that works, but so I mean, it just goes back to then. So then I go into this whole process of having doctors just tell me like, there's no way, man, like another one like that, and it just can't happen. You can't do it. Like, you're not going to be able to talk anymore. You're not going to be able to function with your family. You're not going to be able to go and play catch with your kids one day. And so it was all these people around me just saying, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. You're not capable of it. They used to say you're not big enough. You're not fast enough. You don't have a strong enough arm. And I kept just thinking, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And at the time, the head coach here was Coach Bo Pelini. And he called me up in the hospital, and he said, "Zach, I don't know if you'll ever get a chance to play football here, but whatever you do, you have a chance to come and at least try." And so I took him up on it. I was like, this has been my dream my whole life. I'm going to keep trying. I finished out speech therapy, didn't play another down of football. That was about 3 years ago now. So I come to Nebraska, and it's finally like my chance. It's finally my chance for a new road, a new chance to really go out and, show them that I have recovered. I am big enough. I am strong enough. I can still function. I can talk now. And so now it's my chance to go out and show them not only what I have been able to do, but what God has done through me. And so we get a new coaching staff. I'm pumped. I mean, this is my chance. I've been waiting. We get a new coaching staff. We're going to the spring practice. I was the 6th quarterback on the depth chart. And what did they say? You don't know the offense. You don't have a strong enough arm. You don't make the right decisions. And so I go in and I say, "Coach, what can I do to get a chance to play? What can I do? Anything that I can do to get on the field, I'll do it." He gave me a list of things. When we went into the spring game, I was the 2nd quarterback. I was behind Tommy Armstrong, and I was ecstatic. I just wanted a chance. I just wanted a chance to play. So it was my first game back on a football field, and it felt absolutely amazing. And I remember, I believe it was my second drive, I threw a couple passes and then I rolled out and I threw a deep ball to Jamal Turner in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. And I just remember running down the sideline and just having tears roll down my face because so many people told me I could not do that. So many people told me I could not play college football. So many people told me I would never even be able to function again. And I'm sitting here getting to throw touchdowns at a Division I college. And so, I mean, today I come before you today just to tell you to listen to the voice of truth. Don't listen to the people outside of you. Because there's going to be so many people that will tell you that you can't do something. There's going to be so many people that say that you're not big enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough. There's only one person that matters, and I believe in Philippians 4:13, he says that I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So listen to the voice of truth as you go on with your life, because God is always taking care of me through absolutely every single thing I've ever been through. With that, I'm passing off to Aaron.